Welcome back. Let us look at rule 3 now. Rule 3. What does that rule talk about? This rule talks about dividing powers with the same base. Dividing powers of the same base. For example, we have a to the power 7 divided by a to the power 3. So we have these powers, this base is a and a, they are the same, but the powers s are not the same. So what do we get if we divide powers of the same base? So this one we can write, so let me just move here. So I have a to the power 7, I want to create more space, divided by a to the power 3. So what we have a to the power 7. So this one is a to the power 7 over a to the power 3. So we can write this one a times a times a 7 times a times a 1 2 3 4 5 times a times a. So there's another a here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yes. Divide by a times a times a. So a 3 times. And then what we have here is that the numerator has got 7 a's and the denominator has got 3 a's. So the 3 a's at the bottom or at the top can be divided by the 3 a's at the bottom. So this one cancels this and this one divides this and this one can be divided by this one. So now what we have 4 a's. So we have a to the power 4 divided by 1. So which is the same as a to the power 4. Now I want us to study these numbers now. What happened to we have this power 7, this power 3, and then our answer is this. So you can see that the power of our answer is the difference between 7 and 3. So if we say 7 minus 3, we're going to get 4, which is this power that we have here. Now this one can lead us to the third rule. Therefore, so let's look at the third rule. What does the third rule say? So then rule 3 will say a to the power m divided by a to the power n is a to the power m minus n. We get the difference. Just like you see here, we got the difference. We had we will write this as, so let me find a different color here. So we will write this as a to the power 7 minus 3, and then we get a to the power 4, which is what we got here, a to the power 4. Okay, so now let us proceed to look at examples of applying this rule. So let's look at an example where we are dividing powers of the same base. So if we have 5, sorry, let me write an example. So this is an example. So if we have 5 sorry, we have 5 to the 5 to the power 3 divided by 5 squared. So what we have here, we have 5 to the power 3 minus 2, which is 5 to the power 1. So we can ignore, so it's 5 to the power 1. So if we like, we cannot write this one. So if there is no power, then we know that there is 1. So it's 5 to the power 1, like this one. So we can also prove this by simplifying. If we have 5 to the power 3 divided by 5 squared, So this one is 5 times 5 times 5 divided by 5 times 5. So now we have 3 5s in the numerator and 2 5s in the denominator. So the 2 5s in the denominator can divide 2 5s in the numerator. So this one can divide this and this one can divide this. Then now we are left with our answer 5. So this is our third rule. Okay, now I want us to move on to the fourth rule. Let's look at the fourth rule now, rule 4. So in the rule 4, we are actually dividing, or we want to look at the when we are when the power is 0. I want us to use rule 3 to find rule 4. Okay, so if in rule 3 we said a to the power 3 divided by a to the power 3 is going to give us a to the power 3 minus 3, which is a to the power 0. Okay, so in rule 4 I want us to look at what does a to the power 0 mean. What does a to the power 0 mean? Okay, let's write this one in another way. We have a to the power 3 divided by a to the power 3. So let's work out with a times a times a. Okay, divide by a times a times a. So what we have now, we have 3 a's in the numerator and 3 a's in the denominator. So this cancels this cancels this, and this one cancels. So now we have 1 over 1, so which is 1. Okay, so we can say a to the power 0, because we discovered that here, we discovered that a to the power 3 divided by a to the power 3, we got a to the power 0. And here we are using a different way now to get a to the power 0. So here we got a to the power 0 is equals to 1. So this is going to lead us to the rule 4, to the fourth rule now. So the rule 4 therefore states that any number powered to 0 is going to give us 1. So let's look at an example. Let's look at an example so that we aid our understanding of this. So let's have an example. So let's look at an example. So if we have, for example, 3 to the power 2 divide by 3 to the power 2. So this is the same as 3 to the power 0. This is the same as 3 to the power 0. And we know that 3 to the power 0 is equals to 1. So let's prove this. So if 3 to the power 2 divided by 3 to the power 2, which is 3 times 3 over 3 times 3. And then this is 9 over 9, which is 1. So now we can safely use this rule. So we can safely use our rule that says a to the power to any power. A to the power 0 is equals to 1. So this one could be any number. When we say a number to power 0, we are going to get 1. Even if we have 100 to the power 0, this is 1. Even if we have x to the power 0, we still get 1. Okay, so this is the fourth rule. All right, thank you very much. Let's